Morning. I'm out here on yet another winter camping trip. This time I brought my hot tent and my wood stove, as well as a bunch of ice fishing gear. So last night I hiked out about 2 kilometers away from where my car is parked here to this backcountry lake. There's potential for yellow perch, smallmouth bass, which I don't want to catch because they're not in season. But what I'm after is actually brook trout. I've only caught 2 brookies in my life, and that would be freaking sweet to catch one through the ice. I slept like a baby last night. However, I did have to wake up about 2 or 3 times to an unwelcome visitor.
You little
I would like to clarify that I did wash my dishes thoroughly. There was no real food smell, but I did cook sausages in the tent last night, so I'm wondering if a bit of the grease attracted this little mouse. There was one point where I could even feel him crawl under my sleeping mat. That was brutal. I really didn't like that feeling. It was super uncomfortable. I like mice. Like they're cool, especially in the woods. I don't want them in the house. But out here, this tent is my house, so I don't want him anywhere around my tent. That sucked, but it is what it is. Now it's time to catch your fish. There's a couple branches here sticking up out of the snow, so I'm hoping I can find some fish hanging out here by the structure. We'll see. I'm just guessing at this point. So I've been fishing for about 4 hours now without a single bite, but that's okay. I've still got a couple lines out there in the water, so we'll see what happens. But just like always, let's go get some firewood. Oh, that was close. Wow. This is a pretty piece of firewood. I'm just gonna saw this in 2 pieces so it's a bit easier to carry back to camp. Okay. Much lighter than I was expecting. So pretty right now. It's almost golden hour. It's getting there. Can't get over how pretty it is out here. nice. All right.
What a way to end the day.
Nice easy meal tonight. A little bit of freeze-dried chicken and mashed potatoes. And I'm hoping that it'll be a nice clean meal with minimal odors so that I don't have any visitors come throughout the night. I'm gonna mix the mashed potatoes right in there with the chicken. See what happens. Not really sure how to go about this. A part of me wants to like catch him and bring him to the other side of the lake. Like, I don't necessarily want to kill him or anything. I definitely don't want to kill him. Don't worry. I'm not going to kill him. This mouse obviously knows that there's food. Do I name him? Good morning. Last night was absolutely brutal. That mouse would not leave me alone. He crawled under my sleeping bag about 4 or 5 times, and there were 2 separate occasions where he was nibbling at the side of my sleeping bag right next to my face, right here. There's such an uncomfortable feeling in the pitch black, and I'm like tucked away. I'm like all zipped up in my sleeping bag. I have no mobility at all. So every time I would jump up to try and get him, I lost him. He would run away, and then he'd come back 15 minutes later. That went on for hours and hours and hours last night. One plus side to that was that I was always keeping up with the fire, so it was always warm in here. But if it weren't for that mouse, I would have slept like a baby. That was, oh. And I never got him. I would have thrown him on the pan. I would have had mouse tenderloin for breakfast if I had got my hands on him. I'm not happy with him. In other news, it is super bright and sunny outside. I'm just boiling up some water for a coffee, and I think today's gonna be a really good day. I was gonna stay tonight as well, but I think it's in my best interest just to head home today and wash all my gear. I think I still have some food smell from the first night when I cooked sausages. That was not a smart move, and this mouse is teaching me a lesson. It's a good thing it's not a pack of wolves or a bear or a million ticks. It's every bit of minus 20 degrees Celsius. That's really cold. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but that's pretty cool because it means the hot tent is doing its job. That wood stove is it's working well. I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to ice fishing, so I'm just using one of my favorite soft water tactics. Just have a little, probably 8-inch drop shot weight with a little drop shot hook and a little chunk of worm. Don't think there's a single fish species that could pass this up if they're around. No way. No way. I just got a nibble. Ladies and gentlemen, I just got a nibble. Oh, it'd be so nice to catch a fish. Just one. Even just one would be nice. Come on. Oh, what do we got? What have we got? It's a perch! Yes! I've never been so happy over a perch. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Nice. Back in you go, bud. Nice. Honestly, just being out here, like this whole trip has been pretty amazing. The only downside has been the mouse. And finally catching a fish has really been the cherry on top here. Makes me so happy. I haven't caught a fish since October. So I haven't had any luck fishing since that last perch. It's been about 3 or 4 hours. But I figured now is a good time to do a little bit of a breakdown of the gear that I'm using. Unfortunately, I already packed up my sleep setup. That's my sleeping bag, my sleeping pad, as well as the little collapsible accordion thing that I sleep on. I had to pack it up because the mice were running around and I really didn't want them to make a little home in there. Plus, I'm gonna head out soon. So this is my wood stove though. I believe it's just called the Caribou stove. Very, very cheap. All the gear that I'm using for this setup is very cheap. I got this on sale at Lowe's for 80 bucks, which is crazy because there's some wood stoves out there, like the mid-range ones are at least a few hundred. It's not the best. You definitely have to keep feeding it logs, but like I said this morning, it kept me warm in -20. So for 80 bucks, I don't think you can go wrong. I think my favorite feature about the stove is these little drying racks. They're absolutely killer for drying out your gloves or your socks or whatnot. And it's a perfect cooktop as well. As much as I do love cooking on top of here, I think that's what attracted the mice, and so you can see where that becomes a big problem. So same thing with the tent. It's super cheap. I think this is the cheapest one I could find on Amazon. I got this for about 160 bucks. So the brand is Fire Hiking. I'm not sure what model this is. I've really never heard of this company, but it is the 1-person tent version. I know they have like a 2, 4-person. To be honest, I don't love the tent. First thing I'm not too happy with is I've got a couple of burn holes here. Now this happened the first time I ever lit the fire. Some sparks came out of the chimney and the embers landed right on the nylon here. And it's a hot tent, but it's not fireproof, which seems a little bit counterintuitive to me. But it's super lightweight, so I guess that's the price you pay. So where the chimney comes out, this is completely flameproof. And it's got this Velcro around too, so if you're not using the wood stove, you can just use it as a regular tent, and this will fold down and cover the hole so no rain or snow or whatever gets in. So the wood stove draws air from this little air vent here, and this is essential because if there was no airflow, then I would pretty well suffocate in there. And same thing as the chimney jack, you can close this if you're not using it, or if you're not using the wood stove. I'm not going to do it right now because the wood stove is running. But that will keep all the moisture out, rain, snow, hail, lava, I don't know. It's a great tent. It serves its purpose well beyond its price. But I do find it to be a little bit small. It's advertised as a 1-man, so it fits me perfectly, but with all my gear in here as well as like my sleeping setup, it becomes super tight. I'm constantly trying to play a game of Twister around the hot wood stove. Because if you just touch it with like a piece of fabric, it's gonna melt through. That goes for any of my stuff, my backpack, my dry bags, my sleeping bag. It becomes a little bit tough to manage the space in here when you're really trying to kind of give a buffer area for the wood stove. You're definitely not sleeping 2 in here, but it's only advertised as a 1. Let's make that clear. So final thoughts. I really do think this is an amazing setup for under 300 bucks. At the end of the day, it gets me out here and it keeps me warm, so I don't think I can ask for much more than that. Not too bad. All right, I'm gonna get out there and check those fishing lines one last time before I have to head out here. Wish me luck. Nothing. Nothing. I'm not gonna redo that shot. Alright, so I'm a couple hundred meters away from my car here, so I think I'm gonna wrap up the video. Final thoughts. I did not get the brookie that I was after, but that's okay. I'll settle with a perch any day. And any fish is great. I absolutely love fishing, and that's kind of why I come out here. And it's even more of a treat to be able to catch a fish through the ice. It's just a whole nother challenge. One thing I have not mentioned on video yet, a couple weeks ago I bought my first canoe ever. So I can't even explain how excited I am for that. It comes in April. And I have to admit, like, I still enjoy the winter camping and everything, but like, a part of me is just sitting here waiting for the ice to melt. I just can't wait to get that first paddle in. Yeah, can't even explain how excited I am. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.